right. Balance Council on 5.0.14. Greetings from the StarCraft 2 Community Balance Council. After around 7 months since the last patch, we are happy to present the next major multiplayer balance update featuring changes for 14 units and 10 buildings, as well as 2 new abilities. God damn. We feel that the previous 5.0.13 patch has mostly achieved its goals, fixing community pain points around Widow Mines and Cyclones, and slightly helping Protoss players in early and mid games against Terrans. However, the current patch has a couple more ambitious goals outlined below. The first goal is to nerf defensive and camping playstyles for all races, both related to early and late game on the higher levels of play. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Okay. The first line of Protoss patch? What do you mean? The second goal is to continue reshaping Protoss tools for high-level gameplay. We believe there's still a major gap between how Protoss race plays and feels on the highest level of play and the levels below. Current set of changes aims to make the Protoss race slightly more efficient with the strongest and smartest execution while helping Terran and Zerg players against Protoss on the lower levels. That's me! Guys, that's us! The shitters. Yo, that's us. The third goal would be to provide strong playstyle alternatives for the various matchups. Zergs might now be better equipped to use ground-based armies against mass air strategies. Wow. And some of the Terran mech units are now more efficient in harassment or certain straight-up fight scenarios. Holy shit. Oh my good golly gosh. All right. Lastly, we would like to continue adding overall gameplay and quality of life improvements. Okay, we would like to thank everyone for providing your feedback for all previous community patches, and we hope that the set of changes below will be actively discussed and tested on the PTR server to help us evaluate their influence. Shield battery overcharge has been removed. Oh my god. It's gone. Super battery is dead. New ability added. Energy overcharge. Energy overcharge costs 50 energy and recharges 100 energy of the targeted ally unit or structure with a maximum range of 8. While being one of the most important tools in Protoss defenses, shield battery overcharge is also one of the most frustrating abilities to play against. Yes, requires 0 effort. Manually targets itself 99% of the time and is insanely effective, sure. And it's overall more efficient at the lower levels of play. Unlike other defensive techniques like Transfuse or Mass Repair, instead of this ability, there's a new tool which can help empower Protoss support units like Sentry, Oracle, or High Templar during defense. This ability can still be used to restore shield battery energy, but it is expected to perform much weaker in this scenario than shield battery overcharge. Okay, I have thought about this. So we have the Nexus is now more based than ever patch. So I thought about what this actually implies, and I think it's a very cool change. Mainly because I think there are 3 units. There are 3 Protoss units with insane overlap. And that is the Disruptor, the High Templar, and the Colossus. Now, this isn't completely true. It's really more, it's like this. It's like you have this. It's like there's a separation here. Like it's like 2 really good bros, and then you have like your bro that you like don't really want to talk to, but like sometimes you need a third. You know, like you don't really. The Disruptor and the High Templar actually serve extremely similar roles at the moment, but the Disruptor is better most of the time, but the High Templar is needed for air. And then the Colossus is just like the step bro, you know? He's just sort of there. Sometimes you're stuck in the dryer, sometimes you're not. There's no distinctive time when one of these things can't be swapped for the other, and you can't do the same thing. But I think that this change genuinely creates a very, 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 very big distinction between the 3 of these units, because now, if you want a defensive unit, you have now the High Templar primarily becomes like strong defensively. I think this is pretty sick, right? We think about this, where now the Disruptor and the Colossus are actually quite separate from one another, because the Colossus is consistent damage and Disruptor is burst damage, and the High Templar is now very good defensively because you can recharge them, right? That's very sick. This patch, this particular change helps distinguish these 3 units, which have similar overlapping roles, from one another, which isn't brought up here, but I think inadvertently it does that, which is very sick. I think it's a very good way to make Protoss less bullshit and like return like player agency, like because the kind of the problem with batteries, right, is that it's low effort, insane reward, right? And of course, like then units can't be like better because you have the battery defensively. But the battery, generally speaking, will automatically target and heal everything, and then especially with super battery, it heals very quickly, and you just get to that point. It's not that it's like it's broken. Obviously, Protosses don't win shit, and MaxPax isn't 4-0ing fucking Cyril in whatever tournament or whatever he's playing. But the sides of the battles are not being they're not really quote unquote like fair. Like if you're the Terran there, you feel that it's bullshit, and the Protoss isn't like doing anything to like combat that on their side. The perception is probably pretty accurate there. This makes it so that now instead of batteries, you'll have 2 High Templar, and you restore the energy for the High Templar, and that's your defense, which is sick. I mean, yeah. Now you have to use the High Templar. You have to bring it into range. You have to feedback stuff if there's a ghost or whatever. Very, very, very based change, right? Take out the skillless bullshit. Replace. Make talent good again. It's very nice. Okay, shield battery. Shield and HP increase from 150 to 200 200. I mean, this makes. Okay, developer comment. Considering this ability swap might be a direct Protoss nerf in a lot of early and mid-game scenarios, shield batteries will now have increased survivability to slightly compensate for that. The PTR games will be closely monitored to see if any additional buffs are required in this area. I'd be like, okay, is it more health than a pylon? Like, I'd be okay with that. If it was like you could just put it in a wall or something. This is fine because the shield battery is kind of ass without overcharge, so it kind of makes sense that they would do this. This is a wise change. The Colossus change is very big too because if I'm not even going to read this blurb, I'm going to cover it with my hand. My assumption here is that it's just to nerf it. It's to nerf it against or to buff it against Ghost, right? Because obviously EMP will do less overall damage. This is a very you can see that I'm putting it in front. This is a very good way to address the fact that Ghost is too good without nerfing the Ghost. This is cheeky, like if there was someone on the council who just doesn't want to ever nerf the Ghost, well, okay, here we go. We're just gonna make the Ghost irrelevant, which I think is fine. I have no problem with it. Doesn't really affect PvZ, I don't think. But this inadvertently does make damage that you do to a Colossus more permanent. This is a very cool adjustment because it nerfs Ghosts, yes, but now if you do 300 damage to a Colossus, the health stays low. It doesn't recover. You have 50 HP that never comes back to the Colossus. This is 100, 250 now. So you think that this is going to be shit, right? And yeah, okay, so with no battery overcharge, having more shields is no longer crucial for key Protoss units like Colossus. Instead, having more HP will be helpful against EMP and Protoss versus Terran matchups, and will also be more rewarding for armor upgrade investments. Sure, but there is a con, and the con is that now damage that you do is permanent. Tempest. Supply cost decrease from 5 to 4. Oh, man. They're not going to nerf the carrier, right? I hope they nerf the carrier. They're not going to do it, though. Of course they're not going to do it. Oh, God. We're going back to air. I hate it. Okay. Supply cost decrease from 5 to 4. Bro, Tempest cannon rushers are going to be the most fucking annoying people on the planet. Supply cost decrease from 5 to 4. Damage point decrease from 0.119. Okay, so that means that they turn faster, yeah? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, because now it's less supply, which means you can have more Tempests for less pylons. And they turn and shoot faster, right? So they could be more annoying that way. Tempests are a very important late game tool for Protoss players, but their high supply costs combined with an average damage output makes the ultimate Protoss army weaker in a head-to-head fight. This set of changes will help high-level Protoss players to fit a bit more power in their max armies and have more opportunities for micro, while slightly decreasing the unit's maximum attack range to not strengthen mass Tempest armies. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. This reads like we don't really know what this is gonna do, but I guess we're gonna do something. 14 range to 13 range is still wild. Like 13 range is still crazy, so we'll see. Immortal. Mineral cost decreased from 275 to 250. Weapon cooldown increased from 1 to 1.149. Oh. So we're cheapening the Immortal and making it worse. The damage output from Immortals seemed to be too high in the Protoss vs Zerg matchup across all levels of play. While Immortals' mineral cost is slightly decreased to help compensate for the DPS nerf, the set of changes should help Zerg survive against various Protoss mid-game and late-game attacks. Okay, cool. That's also this actually affects versus Terran as well, because people like to build Immortals now. Disruptor purification radius increased from 1.375 to 1.5. Disruptors might be very difficult to play against at the lower levels, but on the highest level, their efficiency has dropped down significantly after the previous changes. This set of changes is aimed to bring back some of the Disruptor's old power, avoiding any damage, more challenging for the professional players, while it's at the same time making single Disruptor hits less punishing in the worst case scenario. With the new damage output, Disruptors will no longer one-shot units like Marauders, Roaches, and Ravagers, while being more efficient against units like Marines, Ghosts, Banelings, and Hydras, as well as having more potential in certain PvP scenarios. Yeah, you know, I think the game would just be better off without this unit, but hey, I respect this attempt. This is actually this is a buff to good Protoss players and a nerf to bad Protoss players. So let's get a doodle. For those of you who, you know, your brains are formed, but maybe you're a little lacking. It's okay. You know, we're all lacking in ways, okay? So if you have a Ruptor and you have like a bunch of Marines, okay? And he sends a Ruptor out, and it's like this, okay? So Clem, he goes bleep, bleep, right? Bleep, bleep. And he separates all these Marines, and you're like, oh my god, my Disruptor does no damage, okay? It does 0 damage. And so like all of these units, oh, this unit might get fucked, but the rest of the units, they're all gonna get the fuck out of there. Now, and if it were to touch any of these units, then obviously even Clem would lose them, right? Like, you can't reduce the damage, so. But he dodges them all successfully because the ball is little and tiny. Now, if the ball were more like this size, okay. Well, when you move these Marines, what happens is that, you know, maybe these 3 get out. These guys are good. But these 3, maybe they don't make it out. Maybe you gotta send a letter to their families, okay? They're gonna get absolutely fucked, okay? There's no shot. It's coming in, and there's no stopping this. You are going to get clipped by this here Disruptor ball. Now, on the low levels, do you want to know what the difference between these two situations is? If these are all Marauders, they'll all survive now. Because before, what would happen is you would just lose everything because you're not going to dodge because you're not fucking Clem, right? The Disruptor is in a crazy position. The Disruptor is absolutely broken below Masters. The Disruptor is absolutely useless against Clem. This is the problem, right? Like, because Clem literally gets to a point where he can split against every Disruptor shot you fire. And unless you have like 9 of them, you will miss every time, and you will eventually run out of shots. So the Disruptor, like, what supplies a Disruptor? 4 or 5, right? You need 9. So you're at what? 36 or something like that. Somewhere in you have 36 useless fucking supply against the best player in the world, because the more shots you fire, it just doesn't do anything because he dodges them all. Meanwhile, fucking Joe Andy at 4K fires 1 Disruptor and knocks out 50 supply of Terran units. The dichotomy, like, this unit does not serve the same purpose at, like, in the game. You hit a skill level, and all of a sudden, this unit is a completely different thing. Yeah, it's like Smile said, it's just a zoning tool. Don't step here is what the Disruptor is. It doesn't fight. It just says don't go there. And then Clem doesn't go there. And occasionally, 1 in like 50 games, he makes a highlight reel because Max Packs hit him with a Disruptor shot. Let me draw. So the amount of skill for the Disruptor, it's kind of like this. Let's say effort and return is like this. At some point, it just stops getting better, and your opponent nullifies them completely. But the return you get for the effort you put in is insane below a certain point, right? At some point, it's absolutely insane, and then all of a sudden it flips to being completely fucking useless. Whereas if you look at the High Templar, it's not the case. It's way more consistent damage. The zoning lasts longer, right? There's skill checks in both directions. Like, you can choose to tank a bit of a storm to do damage. Like there's a lot more nuance when you look at Storm compared to the Disruptor, when it really just feels all or nothing. And the idea here is that higher level players will not be able to dodge 100% of the time, but now their shit won't die immediately. So it brings those two things more in line with one another, right? Where like now the Disruptor does a little bit more consistent damage, but that damage is lesser, right? So that lowers the frustration and it increases the amount of actual, like, you know, enjoyment and engagement that you can have here without feeling like you're just going to die. And on the highest level, you can't just escape every time. Although Clem probably still will because he's actually not human. Okay. Anyway, Mothership. Mineral, gas, and supply costs increase from 300 to 400. I mean, for the meme, you had to do it. You had to do it. You couldn't leave it like this because minus 400 is a meme. Shield and HP increase from 250 to 350. Maximum damage increase from 6 damage, 6 beams to 6 damage by 4 beams. I mean, this looks sick as fuck. Yo. How based is this? This looks like so much cooler a unit. While I'm happy with the previous set of changes, which brought the Mothership back to Protoss versus Terran late game and improved its efficiency in other matchups, we also appreciate community feedback that this unit is losing an important part of its identity. This set of changes brings back full Mothership power with its widely known 400 cost, while also adding a unique ability to target up to 4 units at the same time. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of chill. I honestly, like, I go further. I think this isn't enough. I go further. I think this looks sick. And they should go further than that with this unit. It should be 6 targets. Fuck it. Send it. See how it goes. Give it more lasers. Yeah, I mean, it's the Mothership. It does look way better. It looks sick. Yeah. You know what this is? This is the euthermal change. Like, we changed the Mothership so that he would spam the Mothership and attack 6 people at once. Terran changes. Okay. Bunker. Missile turret, sensor tower. Wait, what? Is it Christmas? Bunker, missile turret, sensor tower. Salvage ability added. I don't understand. It's not even October's not even done. I almost feel like this change does the opposite of what they wanted with, like, reducing the reliance on... I haven't read the rest. Reducing the reliance just from where we are. Because, like, think about it. So, like, let's say you're playing on, like, Oceanborn. We have base. The thing is, you expand, and now you have to decide whether or not to take, like, try and hold these 2 bases or take this one, and everyone kind of has their own way of doing things. But if I go this way and I just deny this base, I set up 1 billion turrets. Like, literally, I blot out the sun with turrets. Well, okay, now I need to go take this base from the Zerg. I've been denying it the whole game, but, like, I can't hold all these positions. If I have 20 turrets here, I can salvage them for 75% of the cost. I can fortify locations to an extent, like, once this is mined out, when I can mule hammer the living fuck out of it and then send it back. Okay, that's interesting. This is a very interesting change. Okay, Planetary Fortress. Armor decreased from 3 to 2. I understand this. I don't like it. You know? I don't like it. I don't like being disciplined for splitting every map. I don't like it. I don't like being punished. I don't want Dad to beat me. But hey, you know, sometimes you did something bad. And this is what happens to you, apparently. It's okay. We'll get therapy and move on. That's what we're going to do. Sensor tower. Mineral and gas costs decreased from 125/100 to 100/50. That makes sense. Radar range decreased from 27. Dude, they're going to get to the point where it's actually just not going to be worth it to ever build a sensor tower. Like, they will get to a point where the range, like, I think what they should do is just decrease the range further, decrease the cost further, and then get this idea. Listen to me. This is a novel approach. Then what we're going to do, any unit in sensor tower range goes faster. And also, you can see anything in sensor tower range. What do we think about that? And also we should have a unit that we can build that goes around placing sensor towers. Thoughts? Anybody? No? So this is the problem. The problem is very simple. And I did not see the Balance Council address this, but Sensor Tower was not designed for the map sizes we have now. So I guess we're coming to a point where we have to just accept that maps need to be medium to small and big maps are out. Because when you go to big maps, right, like Zerg just wins because creep. So the problem here is that now you're reducing the radar range even further, more locking in. Like, you're locking us into a position where there's no fucking way that you're going to be able to see shit on big maps. Like, on small maps, it makes perfect sense. Like, if you're playing on Crimson Court, this change makes the most sense in the fucking world. But now you're just even more locking everyone into the size of maps. This is just a weird change for me. It's a weird change, but maybe, cheaper though. It's cheaper though. The combination of Planetary Fortress and Sensor Towers is a very powerful camping tool in various late game scenarios. Very true. This set of changes makes Planetary Fortresses slightly weaker against basic army units, like Zerglings, Marines, and Zealots, and making Sensor Towers much less efficient in covering the whole map. However, Sensor Towers might now be useful in earlier stages of the game, considering their majorly reduced cost and salvage and added salvageability. I mean, that's actually not stupid. The idea here being that, like, you could build a sensor tower on your second base. Here's a situation that I could think of immediately, and obviously this is just off the top of my head. So let's say you have a base, right? This is your base here, and this is your natural here. Instead of putting, 2 missile turrets and 2 missile turrets, you could just put a sensor tower, right? And put a sensor tower, and then just guard them with your army instead for the notice. And then once you take your third, you salvage the sensor tower and you put it here. I mean, you get your money back, and it, like, isn't stupid. I could see it being done. Because now you save the money on the turrets, which you can also salvage, by the way, which is kind of base. So, like, it's not a bad idea. It's just that I foresee a problem on bigger maps. I foresee that. Now, the rest of the changes could come in line with that. I don't quite know yet. Okay. Orbital Command. Extra supplies call down now also increases the HP of the supply depot to 500. Hold on. Whoa. What is the health of a depot? Is it 400? What the fuck? This is the kind of change that I would put in, like, this is a super based change. Because there are going to be moments where this is the fucking craziest thing. I can already hear it. Like, I can hear fucking Tasteless and Artosis losing their goddamn mind that Clem saves like a fucking wall off against some Roach Rav with the perfectly timed fucking hat. Yeah. Yeah, well, literally, but I like the delay. I like the delay. Why? Because this is a fucking skill. There's a skill gap. Like, there's a thing. If you're running in Banelings, so it's for people that forgot to use mules properly, no. Stop it. That is the way that things were. When you increase the value of call down supply and the value of scan, right, it competes with the mule, which is the way it fucking should be. It shouldn't always be right to do to make more money. That is wonderful. It is a great thing that it is not fucking obvious what to do in every single situation, right? Imagine a situation where Banelings are coming up, right? And now there's there's skill on both sides here. I'm going to drop down a depot. First of all, which one? Right? So imagining this is a factory, okay? So let's simplify, because obviously if it's a depot both sides, they just attack the middle and whatever, okay? So if it's a factory on this side, it's a bigger building. It's a bigger factory, okay? It's a factory. So we're going to come in here, we're going to attack this depot. Now, if there's a delay when I drop the depot, the question is, if this guy just A moves, I wait till right before and I drop the depot, and then it heals it when the health is going down, and I get all the health back based. But the Zerg can fake you out. They can come in and they can go right up to the depot, and then they can wait for you to fucking drop the depot hat and then attack it. trying to hope to try and fake you out into dropping the depot hat. Okay, I'm going to save the energy in case I get all in and then lose every other game. I mean, but you don't know that. We don't know how this is going to play out. Like, and they can always adjust this as well. It just depends, like, because you're gonna know from the SCV scout whether or not you're getting all in. This is an interesting change. This increases the value of call down supply, which makes it compete better with scan. This is sick though, because it turns, okay, so it turns like when you have a regular depot with the top hat, what is it? It's a liability. If a Zerg sees 7 depots and one of them has a top hat, what are they gonna do? Kill it first. Why? It's more supply. But now, why, like, you can put all depot top hats in a wall to increase the value of the, like, the strength of the wall, right? Instead of thinking of it like, oh, they're gonna kill my fucking depots, I need to put these in the back of my base. It makes it so that you put them at the front of your base. They should make it 600 health, not 500 health, because this is actually a sick as fuck change. The idea is you actually improve the value of your wall, like, you know. Yeah, the depot becomes better. It makes it compete, right? It's worth it. It's worth doing this if you have a wall you don't want to lose. You're starting to think this change was Sal's idea? I had no input in this. I would have been down with this change. This is a good change. One of the biggest things I fucking hate is that scan, mules, and depot top hat are all tied to energy, which makes it like you feel like sometimes you lose just for playing the game well. Like if it were up to me, I would just take fucking scan and put it on cooldown. It's not about just the Bane bus. Like I know how to scout for a Bane bus and not die to it just like fucking everyone else at our level, you fucking idiot. The point that I'm trying to make is that you have an ability for call down supply. You only use it when you play poorly. It's only a get out of jail free card. It shouldn't be that way. It should be worth doing. And if this isn't enough, it should be better. It should be to the point that all fucking 3 abilities on the CC are worth doing. And this is that idea. Even if this is a little bit of like, oh yeah, it's just 500 health, whatever, when are you ever going to do this? This is the right fucking idea. Here's a good example. Okay, so we're on Oceanborn again. I love Oceanborn. We have a big wall, we have our natural, okay, and we have our ramp. And then we have the gap and another path here, and then whatever. So this is where our third base is here. You put 2 barracks in the wall here, but you want to get out. So you put 1 depot here. Obviously, if the Zerg is going to counterattack, what do? They kill the depot. They're not going to go for the barracks. The barracks is high health. That's why you put the barracks there. So on your way out to push, what do? You depot top hat. Now it has 500 fucking health instead. Right? Or if you have 2 depots in the wall, you depot top hat 2 on the way out. It increases the health. It reduces it's the amount of time. It increases the amount of time that you have to react. Now when it dies anyway, which it will, you'll lose more money. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Or you can look at it as in it buys time for you to actually get your units there, right? And be able to defend it. Or buys time for you to be able to pull dudes off the line and repair. The Balance Council should make this better than this and scale it back if it's too good. Because I feel like this is a good idea in being able to make more changes and more adjustments. Yeah. I don't like the fact that call down supply is a literal sign you're a bad player. I don't like that. It should actually be worth doing for its own sake. Okay, Hellion. Blue Flame upgrade bonus damage versus light increased from +5 to +9. What in the fuck? Didn't they change this? Didn't they literally only Hellion, not Hellbat? As the Blue Flame upgrade is rarely utilized as a harassment tool, this change is added to allow Hellions with Blue Flame to 2-shot workers of all races. Doesn't it? I'm so confused. Wait, can you have an upgrade do 2 different things for a unit? I don't understand. Is Blue Flame not... Hellbats are handled differently? Stop. No. What is it? But they get Blue Flame. They get the Blue Flame. Okay. I'm okay with it. Either way, chill, okay? I don't know. I'd have to see it in the PTR. But this unit tester it is, I guess. They were nerfed. The Hellbats got nerfed with Blue Flames that it takes 2 shots to kill a Ling. So this would put it back. So my My intuition is that you guys are correct, that the Hellion is the only thing that takes it, because otherwise you're undoing a buff from last time, or a nerf from last time, and with no developer comment on it. Liberator. Advanced ballistics effect change from providing +2 range in defender mode to increasing the radius in defender mode from 5 to 6.25. Wait, so now there's no... Hold on. Okay. This is my brain is... This is a nerf? No, it's not. Oh. What is the... Hold on. This is a slight nerf, but also a buff. It is a really fucking weird. So I have an actual situation in my mind that this is a buff for. Okay, you ready for this? This is okay. We can do it. We can do this. Okay, so here we have a liberator. Hello, this is our lib. Okay, and it has a circle. This is with +2 range, and then now we have with no range. I don't know. I guess, yeah, so like this. Let's say it's like that. But then it's a bigger circle, which doesn't come out to the same length, though. Something like that. It's an oval, but you get the idea, okay? Okay. If only there was a circle tool. Then we'd be like Protoss, where we just use the tools, and the tools automatically do everything. No, by hand. Hard work, okay? Hard work will reward us. We will do things manually. Fucking shovel, okay? Give me a shovel. Give me a fucking pickaxe. We're going in. So, where is this actually based? This is where it's based. Here we have a Protoss mineral line with mineral patches and some gases. And stop me if you've seen this before. We have a liberator. And there is a stalker. And we are trying to zone out this hereby unit. Okay? Well... It's kind of like that, but now what's going to happen is, sure, we're a little bit closer, but now the radius is like this. So you get a liberator or two, and all of a sudden you're able to hit all of the fucking space, so the Protoss can't get the angle. If you siege the upgraded lib zone on top of itself, it will outperform the stalker. Yeah, exactly. Like, now what happens is that you'll be able to actually cover gaps that they can't make it. To be able to get in there. You get 2-3 liberators in here, and we're going to have a fucking problem. You're going to cover a godforsaken amount of space. It's a lot. 56% more space. That's a huge change. This changes the role of the liberator. This is actually like late game. This literally changes how this works completely. Because like units won't be able to maneuver to the side to kill one. But the liberator is in more danger while sieging, which is interesting. So let's see what their thing is. Despite previous advanced ballistics nerfs, liberator's maximum attack range is still an important limitation for the map making process, as well as a frustrating mechanic to play against. This set of changes is aimed to test a different approach for the unit, which further decreases its maximum range in line with the Tempest changes, but allows it to cover more area on the sides and underneath the liberator in defender mode. Yeah, this is kind of based. Oh, Smart Servos upgrade is now also affecting liberators. Dude, this is fucking insane. Are we kidding? This is a wildly Terran favored patch. No. I don't think so. I think that this ability, if it's too weak, the idea behind this ability is very powerful and very good for good players. If it's too bad, they just need to buff it. Make it do more. Restore one completely. This is like... I wanted to see this just restore the energy to a unit completely. Like, this should be better than this if this isn't enough. This should be a great change, honest to God. Right? This isn't a base change. Like, I don't think so. I don't think this is a Terran favorite change specifically. It does, in fact, and should, in fact, nerf turtling. And it should... improve, like, just the radius here alone should do wonders too. Actually, this is so sick because one of the things that makes no one want to play Liberator versus Protoss, even though they do begrudgingly, is how annoying trying to repivot an army that has Liberators in it is. Because Liberators are like the most unwieldy bullshit. Without rapid fire, it's almost impossible. But this is actually sick. Yeah, I like this idea where we make the long range things worse, but give them shorter range buffs, which I think is good. I mean, even if the numbers are all wrong, I like the ideas. This is the first time I would genuinely suggest everyone play the PTR. On all the other PTRs, I've basically said it's worthless, doesn't matter. This PTR, people need to play this because we need to know what this is going to look like. Is it too good? Is it nothing? Like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to look mad broken with the current numbers. Maybe? I mean, no one knows. No one's played it. I don't want to hear shit like that. You don't know that. I've heard that a billion times. I heard that, you know, the Tempest change wasn't going to make things harder in the fucking versus Cannon Rush, which is complete shit. I've heard the Void Ray change isn't going to be a big deal. That was crazy. I've heard all sorts of things. I heard the Stalker. Remember when they buffed the Stalker and everyone was like, it's going to be fine. And then it was insane and they had to nerf it. Like, I've heard a million times, oh, this isn't going to be a big deal. But, like, you don't know that. The StarCraft 2 is very, 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 very solved at the moment, I feel like. And changing things just a little bit can wildly change the actual use and how things play out. So, like, I don't want to hear that. Okay, Thor. Explosive payload splash damage is increased from 6 to 6 with light. I kind of understand this. I just don't even know. This, I don't know. But yeah, Thor versus fucking Void Ray looks so crazy. Bro, my life is changing in front of my eyes. What is happening? 25-25. Explosive payload splash radius. I love how I tried to put that together. Is increased from 0.5 with 100% splash damage to 0.5 with 100% damage. 0.75. Huh? So you have the high impact is still what you would use versus. I like this change. Oh yeah, this is good. Okay, yeah, because then if you're a Thor and you're dealing with a bunch of mutas or a bunch of like overhead corruptors or something, you use the new mode. But then you have like there's no like now it's further separating the two, right? Yeah, they changed it. They changed this. It does more. It looks like it does more explodies. It'll be way. Yeah. It'll be way less risky to fly your mutas around, but the cost of getting hit by the fucking Thor is higher. Thor's explosive payload mode, whilst being the default for the unit, is rarely utilized outside of TVZ against Mutalisk, and is overall much weaker than its high impact counterpart. This experimental set of changes is aimed to test a very different approach, allowing Thor to deal much more damage. Okay. Yeah, every single thing I've read so far should go through, even if it's like completely broken, because it just makes every single thing that it's more interesting that they've done. Zerg changes. Queen. Mineral costs increase from 150 to 175, and I guess the hatchery is nerf or is buffed because the cost comes here. I mean, this is so overdue. This is not the way I would have gone about this. This is fine adjacent. I mean, my problem with Zerg is that Zerg is shit on small maps and insane on big maps. And I think that addressing creep spread in a way that makes creep spread spread slower but much better is probably a better way of going around it than anything you could do with the Queen. Because the Queen is kind of only good because creep spread is so fucking good. Hatchery. Mineral cost decrease. Yep, got that. Spine crawler. Build time decreased from 36 to 32. Damage increased from 25 to 30. Okay. I'm interested to see what this blurb says. I haven't read it yet. Spore crawler. Damage increased from 15 to 20. Doesn't want camping. Doesn't want turtling. Okay. HP decreased from 400 to 300. Okay. I mean, Zerg playstyles against Terran and Protoss players on higher levels are mainly focused on defensive gameplay featuring mass queens. The efficiency of such defensive styles with such strong execution means that Terran and Protoss players might also prefer to stay passive. This set of changes, while not majorly influencing Zerg openings with a limited number of queens, is aimed to make mass queens playstyles more affordable. Spine crawlers and spore crawler changes will help compensate for potentially smaller defensive impacts from queens. At the same time, spore crawler HP was still decreased to make sure the spore crawler damage increase is not utilized for more efficient late game camping. I could have written this comment. I didn't read it before I said everything. I said no one's going to believe that because we looked at it. Less affordable. Less affordable. Yeah, I read it wrong, okay? It happens. Reading comprehension is hard. And you've been staring at it for the last fucking 10 minutes and I haven't. I wasn't looking. I was looking away. Up to left to right. Oh, well, not majorly impacting, just completely changing our build order. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot has been changed, actually. Just all over the map. But they need to do stuff like this. The idea behind this patch is the correct direction, right? Open the game up, add more options, make the game better. Which is something, in my opinion, they just have to do. Do you think the changes should have been more severe? I've thought about this quite a bit. If it depends on the rate that Blizzard would allow them to patch. I don't know what the allowable patch rate is, right? I would want to do like a patch rule of cool patch where you do stuff like this, you add a bunch of cool shit, and then you do like 2 months later, you do a tuning patch. And then you just repeat that cycle over and over and over and over again until the game is in a fun state. Right? That's what I would want. However, it's right here. This is the problem right here. This is it. Because 2 months is pretty reasonable. Where like if Zerg is super shit for 2 months, they just fix it 2 months later and it's like, okay, well, the game's better, so it's okay. But if this is 4 months, what if this is 8 months? What if this is 12 months? Right? I don't know what this number is. Is it every 2 weeks? Will the Blizzard intern push a patch every 2 weeks? Can we do that? Like this is the question. And so the question of, is this not severe enough, is all about this number right here. This is the number that I think dictates whether or not this is severe enough. Because you may have to live with this change for however long that number is. Right? Okay, Ultralisk. Move speed on creep with muscular augments upgrade decreased from 5.11 to 4.83. Oh, man. Wait, did they add micro to Zerg? I need one of you to drive here and slap me. Any of you? Ravi, you know where I live. Can you get on a plane? I just need you to just hit me. What? Added a new ability, Dash. Dash is research in the Ultralisk Den. Requires Hive. The upgrade costs 100 minerals, 100 gas, and takes 64 seconds. Dash is an active, non-targeted ability with 10-second cooldowns. Upon its use, the Ultralisk receives 60% move speed bonus for 0.71 seconds. Who's using Hydras at Hive level? Doesn't matter. All of the things you think should just buff, they'll find a way to make it decent. Obviously, the idea here is that the Hydra becomes more of a core unit. Zerg stem, no, it should be muscular something. Muscular sprint makes more sense. Dash is the dumbest fucking thing ever. It shouldn't be that. I mean, everyone will call it that. This is my statement to the community, okay? You should have to get a pass, okay? Like a little badge that you carry around, okay? If you didn't play the PTR, you are not allowed to bitch. But you have full bitch immunity if you play the PTR. You should have to carry around an ID badge. I like this. Okay, the idea of this ability is to add more micromanagement potential for the key Zerg units against mass area of effect damage spells like Psionic Storm. Yeah, okay, perfect. Combined with other changes like Microbial Shroud. Wait, what? This ability might unlock alternative ground-based Zerg playstyles against Protoss late game. They spoiled it! Who do I ban? Who do I ban? Who do we hit? I said no spoil. Protoss late game army compositions without giving too much base power to the unit. Move speed on creep with muscular augments upgrade is slightly reduced to make sure Terran. Oh, we ban Ravi? Got him. Hit him. Perfect. Everyone said it? He's out. Investor. Microbial Shroud is now sticking to units. providing them with its effect for 3.6 seconds while off. Okay, this is actually based. I mean, this is the way that it always should have been, no? Despite being very strong on paper, Microbial Shroud is not widely used in Zerg versus Protoss late game, mostly due to units under Shroud being vulnerable to the area of effect. Yeah, of course, it's Storm here. Yeah, this change goes with this, right? These two go together. This is like your Hydra Infestor is meant to be a thing, is my idea, right? Is like right away you can see that this change is meant to go with this thing. Is the way that it's what's implied. Makes the most sense. Your Hydras can now run away from Storm, and also they can actually fight air units. Done. You'll never make Hydras work versus late game toss. Never? Never? Guys, he said the illegal word. What happens if someone makes it work? Are you going to pay up? What are you going to do? If anyone makes this work, what are the consequences for being a nihilistic shithead who doesn't believe in anything? Tell me. What are the consequences? What are the cons? Because I see this working. Microbial Shroud being one static spot is easily the worst thing about it. You give 5 subs? Done. Shake on it. Excellent. Perfect. This is a man. We have a man in the chat. Chat. So only put some subs behind it. Perfection. If it doesn't work in 3 months, you have the better odds. So I'll gift 2 subs to whoever you want. Whoever you want. Choose whoever you want, and I'll gift them 2 subs. Ultralisk. While moving, the Ultralisk can now push allied units. I mean, they stole this straight from fucking Stormgate. My general understanding and my sentiment here is that the Balance Council is actually slowly trying to get rid of air endgames anyway. Is what I would try and do as well. Because I think, what is the point of a map and terrain and all of these beautiful things if you just fly your fleet of fucking carriers across the map and the game is over? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to consolidate that much power in a thing that just ignores the principles of the map anyway. So, but like, it's chicken and the egg. You have to make steps in one direction first. You can't just do both of those things at the same time because, again, we come back to this. How long do you have till you can fix the problem that you make? Did those roaches stop attacking? No, this isn't Stormgate. They're still attacking. You can still see them doing damage while they're being pushed. The Ultra will be better than it was before, 100%. There's no question about it. I don't want to hear anything else aside from that. It will be better. Brood Lord. Broodling HP is increased from 20 to 30. Back to this, are we? Broodling cooldown decreased from 0.57 to 0.46. Back to that, are we? Fixed the bug, which prevented Brood Lord from dealing full damage while shooting from the maximum distance. So they just reverted. Okay. Orbital command scanner. I mean, this is, if you are not going to change the Ghost or the Thor, this is fine. Yeah, like I'm okay with this. The Brood Lord's shit, so makes sense. Okay, Sensor Tower Radar Minimap Visuals now uses team color. It's the ring, okay. I like that actually because it's really annoying TVT. Command Center, Nexus and Hatchery now auto rally to mineral fields. So like if you just build a CC, it just auto rallies. So this is actual bronze level. This is a Bronze League quality of life. And that's disgusting. No, it's really not. Cause and here's no. Listen, this is not as. I'm not going to shill for this change or anything in an insane way, but. If you have a bunch of patches, and KLZ, you know this. I don't want to hear this. In Stormgate, this is brain damage, right? Like this is brain dead behavior, right? In Stormgate, you auto rally is because it's just one node. So there's no skill expression in any way. But in StarCraft 2, you know this and I know this because you've given me shit. You should rally your CCs to different patches, especially at the beginning. Like, just picking a random patch and having your CC rally to that is not better than you doing it manually yourself. Every pro player will manually rally them anyway for the time where it matters or is interesting or is whatever. The only people this helps is your absolute shitters. right? Just like how auto rally at the start of a StarCraft game is actually kind of annoying for players who can split their fucking units, right? If you're bad, this is a good change for you. This is the kind of quality of life that is actually good, right? Higher level players will ignore this and do this their own way. Lower level players will be able to just build units without having to think about doing the rally, which is fine. Expanding is more than enough for them. This is a good change. This is a good change. It's just a random throwaway change. It's good. Workers waiting for refinery, extractor, and simulator to finish do not count as idle. Oh my god. That's so fucking based. That is so based. SCV random delay between moving, building adjusted from... Wait, hold on. Oh my god. They're more predictable? Okay, that's good. Added icon to command card for infestor helling. Okay, showed unupgraded passive upgrades. Interesting. Siege tank and immortal tracking change from previous patch averted due to causing unintentional retargeting. Fix an issue where blinding cloud caused certain melee units to attack more easily. Wait, where blinding cloud caused certain melee units immune its attacks to be more easily canceled. Is that even happen? Oh. This I run into all the time though. And I thought I was just crazy. Fixed an issue where blinding cloud could cause planetaries to not attack units at melee range. Because doesn't this happen often? I feel like I get my PF gets blinding cloud and then just stops shooting anything. Which doesn't make sense because it should have a range of 1. Like this I feel happens all the time. Yeah, okay. Fix an issue with issuing orders on certain types of rocks and fog. Okay. Fix an issue with changeling zealot move animation speed. Okay. I mean, W patch. W balance council. This is big dubs.